Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Hallman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Hallman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we get a wheat harvest update from Justin Gilpin of Kansas Wheat. And inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Soybean discusses the benefits of soybean meal, and Farm Bureau talks to us about the Veterinarian Feed Directive. And in news you need to know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association. We'll look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KansasSoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Weed Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for weeds. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association. Supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. The USDA Economic Research Service predicts in a recent report that due to excellent growing conditions over much of the country, particularly in the Great Plains region, the winter wheat average yield is now projected to be a record high 50.5 bushels per acre, with total production projected at over 1.5 billion bushels. As of June 1st, the winter wheat expected harvest area is 29.831 million acres, down 2.4 million acres from last year. Cattle production is one of the most important industries in the United States, accounting for $78.2 billion in cash receipts during 2015. This represents 21% of the forecasted total cash receipts of $377 billion from agricultural commodities in 2015. Corn being the nation's second largest cash receipt, forecasted at $47.2 billion in 2015. The American Farm Bureau Federation Board of Directors has decided, somewhat reluctantly, to support the GMO labeling bill developed by Senate agricultural leaders. In a release from AFBF President Zippy Duvall says, the bill is far from perfect, but correctly puts the federal government in the driver's seat in important areas. And in local news, officials say Kansas' average net farm income has plummeted from nearly $129,000 in 2014 to a mere $4,500 last year, according to annual Kansas Farm Management Association data. 2015 was the lowest average level of nominal net farm income since 1985. The data presented in the 2015 analysis came from 1,159 association member farms and ranches. After 139 years of being based in Philadelphia, Farm Journal announced it is naming its Lenexa, Kansas office as the operational headquarters for the corporation. Farm Journal CEO Andy Weber explains, following the acquisition of Vance Properties, this makes the most sense for our business and our customers. About a third of our 270 employees are based here, and probably 75% of our customer base is located within 500 miles of Kansas City. Farm Journal remains legally headquartered in Philadelphia and is a Pennsylvania corporation. Labette County FFA team placed first in the state ritual career development event at the opening ceremony of the 88th annual Kansas FFA State Convention. In the ritual demonstration CDE, FFA members must demonstrate outstanding delivery and presentation skills for the FFA opening ceremony. Along with Labette County FFA chapter receiving first place, Buhler FFA placed second, Girard FFA received third, and Sabetha FFA placed fourth. As a state winner, the Labette County FFA chapter has the opportunity to represent Kansas in the Ritual CDE at the 2016 National FFA Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana. Up next in our Ag Feature, we get a wheat harvest update from Justin Gilpin of Kansas Wheat. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned. Thanks for making Kansas Ag Report the most watched ag show in Kansas.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Spring is here, and Premier Farm and Home can help you stop crabgrass before it starts. With a 6-month residual, Premier has what you need to protect your lawn all season long. Premier Farm and Home, 900 Southwest University Boulevard, or find them on the web at heycow.com.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Spring is sprung, and Premier Farm and Home has what you need to keep your yard crabgrass free throughout the season. With a complete line of pre-emergents, you can stop crabgrass before it starts. Premier Farm and Home, 900 Southwest University Boulevard, or find them on the web at heycow.com.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Thanks for staying with us this morning. We're in Manhattan at the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center. We're joined by our good friend Justin Gilpin, who we spend a lot of time together once we get into kind of harvest and planting and all that other stuff. And it seems like farmers again this year have cursed. It's either a great growing season or a poor growing season. This year we had a great one.
Well, it's really turned out to be some exceptional yields we're seeing out in the fields, Brian. And I appreciate all the coverage that you gave throughout the crop throughout the year. We had some ups and downs from how this crop got started off. In pretty good conditions, but then we got pretty dry throughout the winter time. And I know when we visited back in March, we were kind of concerned about that dryness and what that crop was going to look like, and there's disease pressure that was coming on. But boy, when we had good rain and good temperatures through that April, May, which is the filling period for the hard red winter wheat crop in Kansas and the Southern Plains, couldn't have been much better for the wheat crop, and farmers have gotten out in the field. They've kind of reaping some of those rewards of the combination of good environment, good genetics, and then good management practices that are resulting in some of the best yields that we've seen. And so several of our members have talked about how this is maybe one of those crops that it's kind of a generational crop when you're out there harvesting 100 bushel yields and on dry land. So it's really been good, but the first 3/4 of the crop's gone pretty good, but some recent rains have really stalled things out west, and so we're going to have to work pretty hard to get that last bit of the crop out of the field.
When we talk about yields, we're talking about grain sitting on ground. I mean, with some of the co-ops and elevators, I mean, there's just so much grain coming in.
Well, especially in the Southern Plains in Texas and Oklahoma, as we've seen the piles that are starting to go up around some of those locations in Oklahoma. Kansas, it's we're starting to fill up capacity in some of our facilities, and the big thing is just trying to get that grain to move and trying to get it out to export markets and moving it into the milling channels. But when you think about where we're at on those per bushel yields, the state of Kansas has never had over 50 bushel yield average for the state. And so I think our highest we've ever had is 48 bushels per acre for our average. And I think we have a chance to exceed that this year, which is a good thing. But still, as try to keep that in perspective as far as the total production for the state, because planted acres were down, we're still only going to be maybe within the top 5 of the largest production for the state of Kansas.
Well, not only that, when you get bumper crops like we have here, or even in the Midwest, it tends to drive prices down a little bit.
Well, you know, we're definitely dealing with a global marketplace where it's very competitive right now. And so when you think about us trying to get the U.S. wheat market moving into our export channels, into our customers, price is certainly something that we're dealing with. Bushels are going to help offset, but we're seeing some of the lowest cash prices back to farmers we've seen in the last decade.
Yeah, perfect. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about international markets. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Thanks for staying with us. We're in Manhattan at the Wheat Innovation Center. We're joined by Justin Gilpin. Justin, again, thank you so much for joining us. In the first segment, we talked about we're just having great yields this year. Moving those into our international markets, where do we need to be focusing?
Well, when you think about where we're at on cash price, that's probably the real story that we're focusing on right now. There is very good yields out there, but some of the lowest cash prices that we're seeing back to the farmer, and how do we try to deal with that? How do we get markets available? You know, when you think about trying to address low commodity prices, there are external forces that you can't control, but the things you can control, when you really need to focus on make sure we have good farm policy. We have to make sure we have good genetics so that when we do have good yield like this year, we can have bushels. Then we also need to have market access. So that along with market and trade promotion and good trade policy. And so when you think about where we logistically fit for hard red winter wheat out of the Texas Gulf, which is where a lot of the Kansas hard red winter wheat goes, our best logistical fit is in Latin America, South America. So we really need to focus on Mexico, the Caribbean market, then also South America and Brazil. Brazil's coming back into the market. We expect and hope to get around a 1 to 1.5 million metric ton market with Brazil this year. We're hoping to get that program. They've bought a little bit of our wheat, but really getting out and telling them about this new crop and making sure we get and letting them know it's a buying opportunity now with where prices are at. Trying to get that export business is going to be really important for Kansas farmers.
Well, not only that, but the international millers who come through IGP, which is just across the street from me, extremely important to the Kansas wheat farmer.
Right. We just recently had the Nigerian millers that were here for flour milling short roast right here in Manhattan, Kansas on campus at Kansas State. They were able to spend a week learning about milling hard red winter wheat and what it goes into it and how to do purchases of hard red winter wheat. Nigeria is one of our top markets for hard red winter wheat. We've slipped a little bit in market share, but with this crop coming off, it's a little bit lower in protein, but as far as milling and yield and good kernel characteristics, from a miller's perspective, we really think it's an opportunity for buyers, especially at these price levels. And so we're going to do what we can to market it and get it into moving into these export channels.
And real quick, we just want to talk about the yield contest. A lot of people getting into the yield contest this year.
Yeah, it would have been a good year for you, Brian, to get in that yield contest. This was where things really came together, and so things are just wrapping up, and we'll do that announcement. We'll have a winner from the eastern, central, and western part of the state, and we'll do that announcement at the state fair again. At our booth at the state fair, and expecting to have probably, with reports we're hearing, probably the largest yield we've ever seen with our yield contest.
Yeah, and we want to remind everybody more information about the Wheat Innovation Center. Go to
kansaswheat.org. We're right here in Manhattan, Kansas. If you're ever in North Campus, right across the street from Bill Snyder Family Football Stadium, please stop in.
Yep, and we want to remind everybody, if you haven't seen this building, wheat is extremely important to the state of Kansas. Stop in, they'll give you a tour. It is impressive what is going on at the Wheat Innovation Center. Watch the Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute. Thank you for watching Kansas Ag Report. You have made us the highest rated ag TV show in the state of Kansas, and we thank you.
Aiming to be the best knowledge resource for the feed industry, the Soybean Meal Information Center provides accurate information about soybean meal as a source of protein, and it disseminates related information about quality issues, economics, industry needs, and troubleshooting. Its objectives are to help make soy protein the product of choice in the feed industry, to develop the Soybean Meal InfoSource newsletter, and to provide facts about the benefits of soybean meal as compared to dried distillers' grains. The United Soybean Board and about 10 state soybean boards sponsor the center. The Kansas Soybean Commission contributes $2,500 annually. During the first 3 months of 2016, the InfoSource newsletter covered new research on the digestibility of plant protein feed ingredients, soybean meal as a replacement for fish meal, a comparison of canola and soybean meal in weaning pig diets, and much more. Representatives from the center participated in the International Production and Processing Expo, Aquaculture America 2016, and World Pork Expo to interact with people having specific soybean interests. Meanwhile, the soymeal.org website provides technical information about soybean meal to feed manufacturers, professional nutritionists, feed formulators, livestock and poultry producers, and anyone else interested in soybean meal.
The new Veterinary Feed Directive, or VFD, will go into full implementation on January 1st of 2017. The VFD rule requires any medically important antimicrobials used in livestock, feed, or water to be ordered by a veterinarian, and no extra label use of those VFD drugs will be allowed. Medically important means the drug is also used in human health. When a VFD is required, the veterinarian will need to fill it out either in paper or electronic form. No phone orders will be accepted. Once the VFD is complete, the feed can be mixed and fed to the animals it is intended for. The VFD will include items such as contact information, approximate number and description of the animals, the drug name and dosage, duration of use, expiration date, which cannot exceed 6 months, and instructions for reorders. The veterinarian, feed distributor, and producer will all need to keep a copy of the VFD for 2 years. So make sure to communicate with your veterinarian, your feed distributor, to come up with a plan so compliance with the VFD rule is as easy as possible for everyone involved and to avoid any kind of disruption in your operation.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Spring is sprung, and Premier Farm & Home has what you need to keep your yard crabgrass free throughout the season. With a complete line of pre-emergents, you can stop crabgrass before it starts. Premier Farm & Home, 900 Southwest University Boulevard, or find them on the web at heycow.com.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Spring is sprung, and Premier Farm and Home has what you need to keep your yard crabgrass free throughout the season. With a complete line of pre-emergents, you can stop crabgrass before it starts. Premier Farm and Home, 900 Southwest University Boulevard, or find them on the web at heycow.com.
Braden Mishler of Arnold has been named winner of the $1,000 Kansas Livestock Foundation Lindstrom Brothers Scholarship. Mishler, the son of Brian and Janet Mishler, will be a sophomore at Kansas State University. He is studying biological systems engineering with an emphasis on agricultural machinery. The Lindstrom Brothers Scholarship Program was established with a donation from the estates of Clyde and Glenn Lindstrom, who operated a family farm near Fallon. These scholarships are awarded to students of at least sophomore level attending a Kansas junior or senior college, with preference given to residents of Unified School District 400 in northern McPherson and southern Saline counties. Reed Beeman from Olpe, the son of Gina and Preston Beeman, was awarded the first Kansas Livestock Foundation Fred H. Woodbury Memorial Scholarship worth $500. Beeman will be a freshman at Fort Scott Community College this fall, pursuing an associate degree in agriculture. This scholarship was created in memory of Woodbury, who passed away in April 2015 after a lifetime of ranching near Quennamo. Applicants must be pursuing a degree in agriculture at any Kansas college, with preference given to those residing in Chase, Franklin, Lyon, Osage, and Wabaunsee counties. These are two of the 26 scholarships presented by the foundation to students for the 2016-17 school year.
Good morning. I'm Derek Hermish with Paragon Ag. As a farmer, there are two questions that he asks of himself all the time. Can I fix this myself? And is this the best use of my time? In the good old days, before 200 bushel per acre corn, for most farmers it wasn't as much of a choice. You were going to fix it yourself because your options were limited on who else was going to do it. Plus, stuff just wasn't as complex. You didn't need a college degree in computer science to run a planter. That's not to say that most farmers still don't do their own mechanic work, but in a lot of cases you simply can't afford to anymore. Time is money, and fixing stuff these days involves a lot more than a wrench and a can-do attitude. So at a certain point you either succumb to the fact that you don't know everything and fixing this is going to be more of a job than you're willing to do, or you've simply been swamped in the middle of harvest and you know you don't have time to deal with this. So you bring on some outside help, or you hire another employee. That same line of evolution can be applied to a farmer's marketing practices as well. A lack of time and sometimes desire to learn some of the basic marketing strategies is an attitude you don't want to have in today's marketplace. Machinery isn't the same as it once was, and the markets don't move like they used to either. If you're looking to improve your marketing game, you'll have to ask yourself, is this something I can fix myself? And is this the best use of my time? I'm Derek Hermish. Have a good day.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KansasSoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Weed Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for weeds. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association. Supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.